Welcome to Get Your Bell Rung, Pro Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Kg Landry. Tonight, we're going to be doing the recap of WrestleMania 42, Night 2. Joining me tonight is the co-host of Wrestling Memories. I'm talking about the one, the only Grizzled Vet. Also joining me is WCW veteran, author of Looking Up at the Lights, the one, the only Robbie Idol. And gracing us tonight is the best damn referee in the South. I am talking about none other than George Strong. Gentlemen, how are you?
Good. How you guys doing?
Doing
Good.
Doing good. Guys, I hate to start this on bad news, but unfortunately, we lost a great professional wrestler in person today. I'm talking about Heavy Metal Van Hammer. Mark Merrow is the one that announced the death of him, of Van Hammer passing away. The professional wrestling world is mourning the loss of former WCW star Van Hammer, whose real name was Mark Ty Heldreth. He has passed away at the age of 66. The news was shared publicly, again, by fellow wrestler and longtime friend Mark Merrow. Mark Heldreth served in the United States Navy before pursuing a career in professional wrestling. He trained under respected names in the industry before making his debut with World Championship Wrestling in 1991. Van Hammer quickly became known for his heavy metal persona with his distinct look and rock-inspired presentation. He stood out during an era filled with larger-than-life characters. Earlier in his WCW run, he scored a notable victory at Halloween Havoc in 1992. He also won the Jesse Ventura's Strongest Arms arm wrestling tournament, further established his presence on WCW. Throughout the 1990s, Van Hammer remained a consistent part of the WCW roster. He later joined the Ravens flock during the height of his popularity and also competed as a major stash as part of the Misfits in action. His willingness to adapt to different roles demonstrated his commitment to contributing wherever he was needed. Beyond his in-ring career, those who knew Mark personally have spoken about his character and loyalty. Mark Merrow shared that Hildreth once drove 8 hours so he could sign his first WCW contract, reflecting the kind of friend and colleague he was. On behalf of Get Your Bell Wrestling Pro Wrestling Podcast, we extend our condolences to his friends, his family, and fans. And guys, I would like to do a short moment of silence for Van Hammer. Let's get to WrestleMania 42, guys. And yeah, before we get there, last night, Grizzle, you and I did the podcast. And when I got the podcast, I went on social media. And holy crap, the amount of toxic negativity from the first night of WrestleMania was astounding. Look, I'm not going to tell somebody they're wrong when it comes to their opinion about what they like or don't like, but I question how legit someone is when the things they're saying are so toxic. And on top of it, you mean to tell me out of the entire show, there's not one thing that you liked? I got to question that because, look, we're honest on this podcast. We critique the shows and we're honest about it. We're not toxic. We don't bash the professional wrestlers. We talk about storylines we don't like. But even on the shows that we absolutely, very rarely has there been an episode that we just did not like. It just happened recently, matter of fact. Robbie Idol actually gave an F, which is fine. But this is the thing. there was a couple of things on the show that he liked. You know what I'm saying? When someone just the entire show was garbage, I got to question whether or not you're being honest, or I'm sorry, I'm going to call it the way it is. If you're being fucking shit and just following the masses because it's cool to bash whatever program you're a tribulous, for, or bashing the program that's against the program you're a tribulous for. It disgusted me. It really fucking did. It really did. And I swear to you, I held my tongue. I'm not going to tonight because tonight, look, last night was good. And Grizzled Vet said they set a bar. Last night, they met that bar and they raised it. They surpassed it, in my opinion. Tonight was good. I loved it. From the first match to the last match. I enjoyed every second of WrestleMania Night 2. I enjoyed every second of WrestleMania of both nights 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. George, we'll start with you. Overall, man, how'd you feel about Night 2 of WrestleMania?
So I'm gonna rewind because I did watch Night 1 today while I was at work, and I agree with you. Like, we haven't been able to say that in a while since they started this 2-night WrestleMania, where it's like the whole show, both nights were good. Like, there's always been something. So having said that, tonight I loved every minute of the show, and it was the match I thought was going to steal a show, or not even steal a show. The match I thought was going to be good that everybody wasn't going to like. It was. So that's where I'll leave it till we get to it.
Yeah, Robbie.
Yeah, I watched Night 1 this morning. And I thought it was a good show. I mean, everybody pissing and moaning about it, and I don't understand it. I mean, I guess some people upset that Cody won the match was good. I mean, how, that whole match, I mean, the same, and then they're pissing and moaning, oh, this match didn't go long enough, or this didn't do that. I mean, all the matches were good, I mean, so some of them didn't. I mean, I don't know how long you want them to go.
Well, Robbie, I want to say something about that. This is what fucking kills me about some of these people. I swear to you, I hear more times than not, oh, it was too long.
Right?
The show was too long. And now they cut it down a little bit. Oh, well, it was too short. For fuck's sake, people. Seriously.
Dude, the show ended like just now, and it was still daylight outside in Vegas. Right. Like, there's still sunset while they're leaving the arena.
Right.
It's like, that's what you want in a wrestling show.
I mean, what do you want? You're pissing and moaning because it's too long. You're pissing and moaning it's too short. I mean, like I said, last night I watched it. I went and watched it this morning and stuff. The matches were good. Even a few of the matches I didn't think were going to be good were good.
Yes.
So, I mean, and then tonight was good. I mean, there might have been one match I really didn't care about too. I mean, I would say probably wasn't as good as I thought it would be. Mm-hmm. I thought it would be a little better, and we'll get to it when we get to it. But overall, the show was good.
Yeah, Grizzled, man. You were with me last night. We both loved the show last night. I gave it an A-. You gave it an A. Mm-hmm. And we're not grading the shows just yet. But overall, what you think about Night 2? Did it exceed your expectation? Did it surpass that poll that we thought that Night 1 set? Or where you at?
What are you doing? Oh, damn. People want to hear my eloquent terms. Get out.
You're just a man. That's their house, dude. They're just allowing you to.
Yeah, I know. It's just,
Yeah, don't feel bad. I'm probably going to be interrupted here soon, too.
Yeah, it's just where I'm at. It's okay. Anyways, no, last night, I mean, I couldn't find anything wrong with that show. And literally right after you and I finished it, I go online and a friend of mine posts online that, oh, I didn't watch the show, but it was going to be a crappy one anyway. I'm like, you're shitting on something you didn't even watch. You're going by what the card was and went, oh, this show is going to be shit. They're not even giving it a chance.
Right.
And Bob posted that YouTube. I'm not going to even give that fucks.
I was going to address him.
Because that was just the worst show in the history of Mania. Worse than 9, worse than this. and then use big fucking words to make him sound intelligent, when in reality it just makes him sound like a moron. Because nobody talks like that. And he was using these large words, 50-cent words, to tell us how horrible and how terrible and how rotten the show was. Fuck off. The people that are doing that are just doing it because they want people to pay attention. They want clicks.
Well, and that's
that person ever on the show.
That's what I was going to. And
as far as tonight goes, you're asking me about tonight.
Yeah,
I'm going to put tonight at the same level as last night. I got to think about it. I don't know if it exceeded last night, but I guarantee you it matched it.
Right.
And I'm also going to hold you to the fact you said you liked every second of it.
Yeah.
Because there was something in that ring that I want to hear you say you loved it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. And it was entertaining because of the way that it was done. And it didn't insult my intelligence, if you will. And we'll get to it.
Okay.
Yep, we'll get to it. But look, and I was going to the podcast you're talking about. I'm not going to mention this fucking dipshit's name, but I'm going to say this. The guy has more subscribers than I do. He does. But this is the thing. I would rather keep the subscribers that I have than become known as a toxic podcast that's only getting subscribers because I'm negative. That's not what I'm about. That's not what we're about. We're honest. But at the same time, we're honest in a way that we're not being toxic. We have fun doing it. And we give flowers as well. We're not.
What are you talking about? I'm toxic every Thursday. When you do an AEW Dynamite review, I'm not there.
That's why you're not here Thursday, brother. I want to hear it from your ass.
See, he would have agreed with me on the AEW show too.
I still think you were a little bit harsh on that one, Robbie.
No, I told you.
Damn.
The way they did that, no. That was why we did that.
Just still.
Guys, let's talk about WrestleMania tonight too. Guys, we opened up with John Cena. Again, he's the official host. He announced that for the first time in history, WrestleMania is on ESPN. I have to correct him, John Cena. This is the second time in history because they were on last night. So one plus one.
No. They were on. They were on ESPN 2.
ESPN 2.
Oh,
tonight they were on ESPN.
I did not realize that.
Yeah. We've been on the Ocho, man.
Regardless, they were on ESPN, and he says that if they're going to be on ESPN, they have to start with something big. He says, welcome to WrestleMania. And then we hear the music, and then all the music hits.
I was worried about that.
And then approximately 7 hours later, down that long entrance, being winded, he was able to finally make it to the ring. And then Brock Lesnar's music hit. Brock came out with Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman introduces him as the real ruler of WrestleMania. Man, this match, it wasn't a long match, but it didn't need to be. It got the story across what it needed to get across. We seen Lesnar hit Oba with a clothesline. No sell. Oba then drops Brock and the crowd just fucking explodes. Lesnar slams over to the posts and the steps. They get back in the ring. Brock Lesnar lands 3 suplexes on Oba. Oba blocks a 4th. Lesnar F5s Oba. Oba pops up. Choke slam, his finisher, defeats Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is selling the shit out of it. I mean, selling the shit out of it. Like, Oba is now out the ring, walking up the ramp, and Brock Lesnar is laying on the fucking mat like he is dead, right? Then all of a sudden, he sits up. And he starts taking his, boy, this is emotional. I'll tell you why it's emotional for me. He starts taking his gear off, and it seems like he's retiring. Brock Lesnar, I never forget, debuted in March of 2002. And I know this because I just moved back to Louisiana from Seattle, Washington. And that was the first time my dad and I actually watched professional wrestling in a bit. And it was Brock Lesnar's debut. And every time one of these guys from back then debuts, it's another, God damn, this is emotional, memory, from my dad when he was alive, kind of closing for me, right? So yeah, that was emotional to see that. But the question is this, though. Is Brock Lesnar really retiring? I think he is retiring, but was this truly his last night? And we'll get to you guys, your thoughts on the match. But I'm going to tell you right now that I'm expecting Brock Lesnar to be at Raw tomorrow night. And I'm expecting something to happen with Gunther, the Favor. And I still foresee a match with Gunther against Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. Now, I talked to a couple of people, and they're like, you know what? If Brock retire, we hope this is it. Because if that does happen, they think it's going to water down this retirement. And I get it. I really do. I'm going to be selfish. I'm going to be at SummerSlam. I want to witness Brock Lesnar's last match, if that indeed is going to happen. Grizzle, we'll start with you. Your thoughts on this match, and then your thoughts of what I said about him and Gunther, SummerSlam. And do you think if that happens, it will water down what it meant tonight? The fans, I mean, Brock Lesnar, it looked like the man shed tears. We haven't seen the side of Brock Lesnar. Even my wife said, man, this is something you've never seen from him before. The chants, thank you. Emotional shit, man.
As far as the match goes, it was everything I wanted and just a little bit more. They gave it just enough. I didn't want to see something long. I didn't want to see something technical. I didn't want to see headlocks. I wanted to see two big old bulls go at it, and that's what we got. I loved the match. It was perfect from beginning to end. I said it when we did our predictions. I said I couldn't pick a winner. I said it was straight down the middle. There was no little to the left or little to the right. It was straight. I could not pick a winner. It was going to, there was just no way I could do it. I am happy with the way it went. I am happy with the victory. As far as what happened afterwards, I'm going to say I was surprised. I wasn't expecting it. But as far as, and people have already said it, oh, I think he's going to come back and Gunther's going to poke at him until he finally comes back and says, all right, one more time. No, it should not happen. Gunther should be off the cards. Paul Heyman gets him a favor. He gets Gunther a title shot against Roman. Let him retire Roman. Don't let him retire Brock. Brock should be retired now. One, it gives Oba that he's already on the next level, but it gives Oba that you are the man who took over the role of the Beast incarnate. You took out the Beast. And as far as the retirement goes, yes, it'll water it down. If he does another match and that's his retirement and Gunther retires him, you're not going to get the Lesnar that we saw in that ring. That man openly cried in front of 50,000 people. He hugged Paul. You know they were saying goodbye to each other. They were saying thank you for everything. If he does a retirement match in SummerSlam, it would ruin this 100%. It would never be the same moment. This was his moment. This is what he chose to do. Stick to it. Let Gunther cash in his favor. He gets a shot with Roman. Let him retire Roman. We know Roman's going to be ending up soon. You know, Gunther does not need to retire Brock. Oba needs to be the man who defeated Brock Lesnar. Let it stay the way it is.
No. Terry Ziller. Hi, guys. Terry, man, thank you for joining us. Tell us what you thought. Again, we all loved WrestleMania Night 2. What did you think? Robbie, we're going to go to you next. By the way, there's a lot of people that would say, oh, this was, one, it was too short. Two, it was disrespectful to Brock Lesnar. He's never been squished before. Let me remind you about the Goldberg match. By the way, Goldberg beat Brock Lesnar in less time than what Obafemi did. Okay? So shut the fuck up. Seriously. I'm so over these fucking basement. Look, you know what? Wrestling fans are great. They really are. Unfortunately, there's a small segment of wrestling fans that we are exposed to on social media. And it just aggravates you. It really does. Your thoughts on this, Robbie? And do you agree with Grizzle that there should not be another match with Gunther? By the way, Grizzle, I agree with you. I really do. Again, I use the word I'm being selfish because
yes,
I would
yes, I'm with you. If I was going to be there, I'd want to see it too. But
right, yeah,
you can't.
Robbie, go ahead.
Match was good. I mean, I was kind of surprised seeing him take his gear off and stuff. I agree with that. I don't think he should come back. And give Gunther, if you do that, you're looking at like maybe kind of stalling the momentum of Oba a little bit, because now you brought him back to fight Gunther. And I don't want to hear, and I guess I'm going to be selfish on this. I don't want to hear Michael Cole, Gunther retired Brock Lesnar. No, Brock Lesnar retired. He didn't retire anybody. Gunther didn't retire anybody because all these guys were retiring. So he was the one that beat him. That's it. He didn't retire him. I don't want to hear it. I mean, it's just stupid. I mean, if you're going to, at least just say, hey, he beat him for his last match. He didn't retire him. The match was, perfect. It was good. It served its purpose for Brock. I mean, I agree with that. I don't think he could bring that kind of emotion again if he did it again with him. I know you want to see you're saying I'm selfish, but I'm selfish. I don't want to see Gunther. So I have.
I agree with you guys. I know.
And I'm sorry, I'm getting selfish. Hey, what? But I guess there's a lot of us that were all selfish on this show. So
yeah, and look, and I agree with you because it really wouldn't. This is the problem. Do I want to see Brock Lesnar live in person? Him retiring in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where he went to college at, it would be massive, right? But this is the problem. What would be the point to the match? I understand that because you can't say, well, he's coming, but this is, if he doesn't beat Gunther, he retires. No, he's already saying he's retiring, fuckers. It would make no sense. So I agree with you. I'm just saying, I can imagine. You know what I'm saying? George, same thing, man. Your thoughts on it?
So I'm gonna be the opposite here and say I'm not believing all of it. I do think he's retiring, but what if he goes to the SummerSlam and says, hey, I'll wrestle Gunther? What if he wins and then say, I'm out? I agree with everybody, though. It's like, this should be it. Like, you don't give Oba the rub and then wrestle again. It's the equivalent that I'm having Undertaker. He's laying all his stuff down after Roman Reigns beats him at WrestleMania. Then he squashes John Cena in New Orleans. I love seeing Undertaker. Problem is, me being an older wrestling fan, I've seen these guys a million times before they stopped all these house shows and stopped bringing every show to New Orleans. It's like, I saw the Undertaker a million times. If he retired, I was good with it. I've seen him wrestle a bunch. But then he came back and squashed John Cena, and then the pandemic happened. And I mean, he just kept wrestling after that. And it's like, it looked like it was over with. They could be doing that with Brock, but this time storyline it where it's like, yeah, he pulls him out of retirement to wrestle Gunther. Doesn't make sense. I say have Brock win and go out on top. The Undertaker beat AJ Styles in his technically last match. They could do it that way. Anyhow, the match was great. I loved it. Huge Obafemi fan. Been watching him on NXT. He has had very few bad matches. So I was scared because the internet rumors about Brock not wanting to lose until SummerSlam came up. But when I saw the match and how everything played out, of course, we start looking at the old Raw lore. It's like, oh, well, if he's up, he's going to lose when the pay-per-view comes up. That didn't happen.
Right.
The last little skirmish on Raw, they barely did anything, and the show went off the air, and you had to watch YouTube to see what happened. The match was perfect. I loved every minute of it. I was strutting with Oba all the way down that aisle. It was just like, man, he's got a long way to go. We got a long entrance to the show. Maybe that's why the show started so early. I don't know. But either way.
Bob, I can damn it, I can't get to. I was going to send you to. Bob wanted to join, but his messengers isn't working. I was going to send the. Hold on a second. Give me 1 sec, guys. Let me. Yeah, Yeah, Bob, give me a second. I'm going to text you an invite if I'm able to. Just bear with me 1 second so we get Bob Cook on the show.
Live television, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm just gonna keep strutting. I'm strutting like Oba the whole time. I'm just strutting.
I was worried. I was worried about that. I'm like, oh fuck, it's gonna take Oba 10 minutes to get down the ramp. No, he kind of hustled it along. He was.
Hey,
no, Bob says no thing. The wife is giving the dog bath. Cool. All right, Bob. Terry says Brock retired himself. Yeah, but 100%. Guys, next, this is the match that I worried about, not because I didn't think it was going to be good, but because it was a ladder match. It was going to be on ESPN, and they had to do all of this, the Brock match, with this match all in the first hour. So I'm like, okay, do you want to really rush a ladder match? Because a lot of dangerous spots. It worked out. I like this match. We got, for the IC, this is a ladder match. Rey Mysterio, Javon Evans, Penta, Rusev, and JD McDonough, and Dragon Lee. But Penta got a video package before he walked out. Moments that I wrote down. JD took a nasty, JD McDonough, man. He took a nasty landing on the ladder when Rusev dumped him. Rusev Day chants. First time I think we've heard that since he's been back. And I remember. There was a ladder crash. Javon Evans got thrown over the top rope of the ladder and landed on top of Penta outside. Then there was that top rope dive by Evans onto McDonough on the ladder. The Spanish fly off the ladder. The Mexican Destroyer done by Penta onto JD McDonough on a ladder. Then Evan, he hit that cutter on Rusev from the rope to the ladder. Ultimately, Penta was able to retrieve the title to win. Penta also hit a Mexican Destroyer on Evans. Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. JD McDonough and Javon Evans were the highlight of this match, in my opinion. They really were. I'm not sure they all met and decided that red was going to be the theme color of the night for this match, but it was. Michael Cole made me laugh because after the Mexican Destroyer onto McDonough, he said, McDonough's dead. My wife's like, it looks that way. Yeah, like I said, Javon Evans and McDonough to me stood out as the breakout performers in this match, in my opinion. Robbie, we'll start with you. How'd you feel about this match? And do you agree about Javon Evans and JD McDonough being the standout stars of this match tonight?
Oh yeah, definitely. I liked it. I'd say this was the best. This and maybe the main event were the best matches of the night.
Right there with you, brother.
You know, they both stole the show. These guys, even Rusev did good, as I kind of thought he was the odd man out in this match, and he actually did good.
He added that power. He added the power that you needed.
Yes. The only thing I'd say, if you'd say a screw up or whatever, was when he went to when he slammed Evans on somewhere in the middle of the match and he didn't get him up high enough to get him to the thing and caught him on the edge. That was probably the only, if you had a complaint, that would have been the complaint. But Evans sold it well. But Evans and JD, JD, when I saw what he was doing, I went, no, he's not. And he did the Spanish fly off of it. I can only imagine how hard that was to do it off of a ladder, and Evans just, the kid can fly. I kind of thought he was gonna take that title, but they kept it with Penta. So, but no, match overall, it ranks right up there with match of the night.
Yeah, George.
So my favorite luchador was in the match too, and I think you missed that spot where he got thrown on top of Rusev.
Yeah.
No, the dude from San Diego, the other guy, Rey Mysterio. When he got thrown, they threw him on top of Rusev on the little pancake spot or whatever, and he falls through the ladder. That looked excruciatingly uncomfortable for Rusev. Like, I will say that, because he went through, obviously, Ray didn't take any of that. So it's like, but no, I'd have to say that match was absolutely great, and JD and Javon looked great, but I think they made Dragon Lee look really good, and I think that was part of the match too. I mean, everybody had their moments, but it's like, I think Dragon Lee looked like at some point like he was going to win the match. Yeah. But it was I didn't feel like JD looked like he was going to win, but he definitely had a great performance, and him taking some of those spots is like, that's what you want with a wrestler. That's like AJ Styles selling for so many guys the way he did. I think JD fits that little mold well. If he doesn't win, at least he can make you look good.
Right.
But yeah, no, I'm perfectly fine with Vince. I at some point thought Javon was finally going to get a quick early championship push, but I'm good with Vince and keeping the belt. He's hot. The people love him every time he comes out. I don't have a problem with it. As long as they make it meaningful while he has the belt, it's okay.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I'm saying JD McDonough and Javon Evans were kind of the two guys of the night in this match. I am not taking away from anybody else, because everybody in this match was absolutely fantastic. I mean, again, love the match. I agree. I think this was one of two matches of the night. Grizzle, your thoughts?
I thought it was a great match. Just a question, though, because I was having some buffering issues with my internet, so I had to go to watch the first hour on ESPN while we got that straightened out. Did they cut a bunch of entrances for the talent?
Yes.
Because when we came in, half the guys were in the ring already. Right. So I was a little confused if I was having a technical issue because of my internet, or if ESPN went.
No, they only showed Rey Mysterio, Javon Evans, and Penta come out to the ring. Everybody else.
Okay, then I wasn't.
And I don't think it was your internet, because during the match, it started buffer. I got what the fuck for a second, then it came back.
Oh yeah. I was it. Fuck it, I'm going over to ESPN and watch the first hour on there while I straighten this out. So.
Yeah, I was on multiple group chats and people were complaining about ESPN freezing. And I think it did freeze during one of the other matches tonight, right at the beginning of the match. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
I was still having that commercial break shit too. They'd come back from a commercial break and ESPN would skip back to the beginning of the match we just saw. So I had to exit out and go back live. It was kind of a pain in the ass. Anyways, though, no, great match. I picked Javon Evans to win. So wrong on that one. I'm fine with Penta retaining. I'm hoping now maybe Javon Evans will get a one-on-one, because I think that would be like a killer match. You guys are talking about the Spanish Fly. That move confuses me a little bit, though. Who takes the damage in the Spanish? Because they both go flop on the mat.
High risk, high reward.
Who takes the bump? The Spanish Fly confuses me. Who takes the bump? Because they both go flat.
The person that is initiating the move, the other person takes the.
I was going to say, so the guy that lands on his back is the one that takes the punishment, but the guy landing on his face is taking the punishment too, because he's slamming the guy on his back.
So that move just confuses me. My MVP of this match, though, goes to Rusev, because that spot through the ladder with Ray outside the ring, I don't know how Rusev didn't take his head off. So I'm going to give that for the MVP spot. But no, it was a great match. No issues with it. So, so far it's a great start to Mania. The only thing, though, is you guys say match of the night. Okay, there's obviously two contenders for match of the night. But I'll explain later why the main event gets my pick on that one. But for this one, what makes the ladder match so great is all the spots.
Right.
That's what you're watching the ladder match for, all spots. And they gave us that. So it was highly entertaining.
Guys, next, the United States Champion, Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams. Look, this is the match I was iffy about. But goddamn, they delivered, in my opinion. I enjoyed it. Now, this is the thing. I hope this is the last we see of Little Yachty. And I'll tell you why. And I've been saying this for a minute. Trick Williams, Javon Evans is a star. And he's just going to grow. I agree. Obafemi is going to be that guy, right? Replacing Brock Lesnar, that monster. Trick Williams, though, out of all of them, and you guys may disagree, I don't care. In my opinion, Trick Williams is that guy. By the time his career's over with, he's going to be talked about in the same sentence that you've talked about people like Cena, even I'll go as far as The Rock, in my opinion, because he has the 3 it factors. He can cut a promo, he can talk, charisma, and he's good in the fucking ring. He has that it factor. And as long as WWE Creative doesn't mess him up, I'm telling you, this man is going to go places. He's going to be the next big star for WWE, in my opinion. Little Yachty introduced Trick Williams as the Anointed One and the Lemon Pepper Stepper. Trick's entrance was elaborate and grand. He looked good. Trick hit the bookend. Sammy kicks out of that. Blue Thunder Bomb. Trick kicks out of that. Sammy hits Little Yachty, then throws Little Yachty to the barricade. The most brutal spot of the night, in my opinion, was that brain buster that Sammy hit Trick Williams on the edge of the ring. First I'm like, oh. Glad Trick got up. He barely beat the 10 count. Little Yachty interferes. Sammy's able to hit the exploder. But as he's about to do the Luva kick, Trick connects with his trick shot, is it called?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Trick Williams wins the United States Championship. New champion. His parents was shown in the attendance. He hugged his parents. Sami Zayn made me laugh at the end of this match. I don't know if you guys caught this or not. At the end, Trick's in the ring celebrating. And if you look at the background there, Sammy goes to stand up and then he just flops down on the ground in the background. Funny as shit. I actually like this match, guys. I thought this was a good match. I thought Sami Zayn looked good. I really do. George, start with you.
So I am going to fast forward. I'm laughing because I saw CM Punk do the same.
Yeah.
I see him stand up by Wade Barrett and flop to the ground, and Wade Barrett just laughs. Like he popped Wade Barrett in the background while Roman celebrates. But anyway, this match was great. I love the intro. I'm going to disagree with Lil Yachty. No, we don't need to see him every week or anything like that. But I think he was, of all the celebrities or anybody involved, he was great. Like, his spot was just to be Trick Williams' hype man. And I'm sure for him being a rapper and being the main guy all the time and somebody that people our age don't listen to, I think he played his role well. But that, again, goes back to the guys that are taking – Wait. No, don't interrupt. No, don't interrupt. Look, there are celebrities that are taking this shit more seriously than wrestlers. Mm-hmm. And that's the problem with this product that WWE is putting on. These celebrities get here because they're paying and they're putting more into it than some of the wrestlers that they're holding accountable to have a good show. And that's all I'm going to say about that. That's all I got. You go ahead.
This was my problem with Little Yachty, right? My problem was him interfering in the match, and I'll tell you why. I think that Trick Williams should have beat Sami Zayn clean, 100%. Mm-hmm. I do.
Yeah.
Instead, the victory's a little tainted because Lil Yachty did get involved. And then on top of it, I think they should have called an audible because I feel like they wanted Sami Zayn to be the babyface. Obviously, Trick Williams was the baby in this. According to the fans. The fans love Trick Williams. They should have called an audible at this point. And if anything, they should have had Sami Zayn try to pull some dirty shit and still have Trick Williams go over. That's just
I like where your head's at with that, but the problem is they don't do that on TV. They used to do that on live shows all the time because I remember a story the New Day with Tyson Kidd and Cesaro saying, they were in Germany or something and the crowd was cheering for Tyson Kidd and Cesaro instead of the New Day. They switched in the middle of the match and nobody, everybody was happy.
Rock and Hogan. Rock and Hogan.
They haven't really,
Middle of the match, WrestleMania, Rock and Hogan.
That's a once in a lifetime type of thing.
They didn't.
This was.
But see, they didn't. Yeah, but the production team or Gorilla didn't call that audible. They did because it was obvious. The crowd was happy to see Hogan back in the ring. They can do that.
Got it audible tonight in the middle. I'm saying even before we got here, It was
they
clear.
don't. No, they had a story to tell, man. You can't make Trick look like that. Even though the fans are like, I mean, the fans are cheering who they want to, regardless. Like, if that's the case, we need to go ahead and turn Cody heel every match. And you saw how invested they were last night. By the time the match was over, nobody was booing him when he won. So you stick with your guns, and then you change it after because you want to tell that story. Everybody knows Sammy's the Hogan-esque underdog for them that wins every match miraculously, no matter what the odds are. He can go into this match being the veteran who knows how to win, regardless of how he's been the underdog, against a new guy that's got everything that every WWE superstar wants, that can run over him with no problem. There's no underdog win. There's no other BS. He had a sidekick. He used it to his advantage, and he won a match. They can do all the clean pins for the rest of the time. They'll probably fight each other like 4 or 5 more times.
I hope not.
You forget what show we're talking about. Don't let WrestleMania cloud your judgment on what they do on Fridays and Mondays. I'm just saying.
Look, nothing, what I'm about to say, nothing against Sami Zayn, and I really don't mean any disrespect. But Trick Williams is one of these rare cases that they need to skip over someone like Sami Zayn and put him something much bigger with that title at this point. That's just my opinion. Grizzled.
Before you go to the next person, I was thinking they could do that with Cody when they were before they put him against Drew McIntyre. If Trick was going to go to the main roster, and they knew, maybe they didn't know, but it's just like they could have used him as one of those new guys that loses to Cody in like a quick title defense type of situation. I think that's where it would have worked out before he took off, and then now you can say, oh man, he gave Cody everything in his first title shot, and now he's a superstar, whatever. So I agree with that. He could go to something bigger now, but he's got a belt, so we'll see.
Right. Grizzle?
I am going to say of the entire card, this was my least favorite match of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Trick and Sammy just didn't click as far as competitive. I didn't think they went. I think this Sammy, honestly, I'll be honest with you, I don't think Sammy was at the level he needed to be in there with Trick. Trick Williams was fucking amazing. I don't think Sammy was able to keep up with it. This match just didn't flow right for me. I didn't catch it. I hated Trick's entrance, though. The giant train thing coming down. I'm like, why does he have a bridal train on his jacket? And a friend of mine that I'm talking to said it looked like a giant roll of toilet paper that they just rolled down the ramp. So he's supposed to have this elaborate entrance. I would have thought, cool. No, they go to the stage. He's already up and spinning. No, that thing should have risen up, spun around, give him something great. No, they gave him this giant bridal train going down the ramp. I'm like, okay. For an entrance that's supposed to be spectacular, I was like, all right. No, I'm not saying the match was bad. I'm just saying they weren't good dance partners. It didn't fit.
Right.
I am going to agree with my brother from another mother, though. Little Yachty serves his purpose as a hype man, like I've said. And the interference he pulled in that match was fine because you got to remember, as much as you love Trick, KG, and you say he's the face, and I agree with you on that one, he's still portrayed as the heel. So Little Yachty did the perfect thing doing that spot because that's what a heel's accomplice or sidekick would do. So it fit. But since people want to see Trick as a babyface, they didn't like it.
Right.
And that's the issue with that one. But it was a perfect spot, and it's all Little Yachty needed to do. All the celebrity involvement in WrestleMania this year, it all made sense. Nobody did anything stupid. Like I said last night, Jelly Roll did an elbow drop. Perfect. Then you
took out Pat McAfee, he was gone.
And all that shit. I'm saying every celebrity involvement in WrestleMania this year, they didn't do anything out of their realm that looked stupid. So I have no problem with the audience involvement in this. Match wise, okay. Sammy's gonna get a rematch. I don't want him to, because I don't think he's Trick's level. I think Trick is a higher level, and I hate to say that because I love Sammy, but I think Trick's at a higher level than he is now. I think Trick needs to move on to something else. And you're talking about the future guys. Trick, Oba, Javon, and Carmelo Hayes. They're going to be eventually what Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H, and Kurt Angle were. 4 main event guys you can intermingle amongst each other for the next 5 or 6 years. They're the next level of that. It's obvious.
My fantasy booking for Trick Williams, and unfortunately, I don't know if we're ever going to see it. I don't know. Maybe we will. It won't be anytime soon. Because of just how good he is both in the ring and especially a talker. I would love to see an MJF and Trick Williams back and forth on the mic. I would. I think that would be just fucking amazing. I think it would be funny. I think it'd be brutal. Yeah. Robbie?
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Match was good. I thought the match was good. Yeah, I will agree with Vet on this with Little Yachty, but I hope he's gone. Don't need to see him. Don't want to see him. Don't know who the hell he is. I don't know his music. I don't want to know his music. If his music is anything like what I think of him, I definitely don't want to see him. So
you want me to bring my son in? Maybe he can explain to us who he is.
I don't want to listen to rap, so I don't like rap. I like the old school rap, but I don't like this new stuff. But no, I mean, but you guys are talking. But here's who he's probably the next feud that they're going to put, because you guys are forgetting. It's going to be him and Hayes,
right?
It's because they had that feud in NXT, so that and the two of them were good. So I can see them, going with the feud here with those two on it, and it should, it'll be a good match because they work together and everything else. But yeah, I mean, and I'm not a big Sammy fan, but I thought he did good. I mean, I thought the whole match was good.
Yeah, I agree, guys. Before this match, they did do another recap segment about what happened with Ova and Brock Lesnar, and then they also went back and showed Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton and the fallout from night one. Now, unfortunately, I think Randy Orton's voices in his head got a little loud because he really did punt Cody Rhodes' head. And they said there was basically just drama to his orbital bone, but I'd be shocked if that sucker's not broke. Cody was pulled from all appearances today because of that. He's not able to open his eye. Look, there's a lot of people who talk shit about Cody, say Cody is handing things to the dude is one tough son of a bitch. We've seen him compete against Seth Rollins in a I think it was Hell in a Cell match.
With the torn pec.
Torn pec. I mean, now this, I mean, you know what? Props to Cody Rhodes for the abuse that he's doing. He'll be back. But
Cody got rocked last night.
Yeah.
Have you seen the fan footage?
Yes.
There's a fan footage video in case any of you haven't seen it. It's Orton right after the punt, and it's caught on a camera with somebody's cell phone camera. Yeah. You immediately see Orton go right to Cody. He's covering over him, and then he looks up at the ref and gives him the he's okay. Randy checked on Cody as soon, so he knew when he hit it. He knew he did something wrong because you immediately see him drop down, and then he looks at the ref and gives him kind of a he's okay. So Randy knew when he did it.
Yep, he did. Guys, this was my least favorite match of the night. Now, it was good. I'm not going to say it wasn't good. Right? It was entertaining, but I'll tell you what my issue is. It was Finn Balor the Demon versus the Dirty Dom. Let me tell you, this is my issue with the whole demon thing. Everyone's so excited, and the interest looks great. It's cool. But besides that, it's Finn Balor. And this is what I mean by that. And I'm going to specifically use this guy as a perfect example. Leo Rush has completely changed his character into Blackheart Leo Rush. When he is Blackheart Leo Rush, he wrestles differently. His movement is different. He is different. There's no difference between the Demon and Finn Balor once he gets into that ring. None whatsoever. That's my little nitpick about that. Good match. I'm not going to say it wasn't a good match. It was a good match. I enjoyed it, right? Not one time that I want to, let me go get a snack, right? It was a good match. It really was. Dominic entered with carrying on the throne with a masked man and King of Luchador shirts all in white. Dominic, of course, is the AAA Mega Champion. Finn Balor returns as the Demon for the first time in 3 years. Cool entrance. There was the heartbeat. He touched it. Then the music hits and he does his thing. Crowd to its feet. People love it. Chairs and tables used. There's a 619 with the chair. There's a the frog splash to the Demon by Dominic. Finn kicks out. Dom beat him with a chair. 6 chair shots. There was a chair spot around the neck. There's a drop kick into the turnbuckle. That looked brutal. Then, of course, he got Dominic standing through table. The Demon got the 1, 2, 3. Grizzled, back to you. Your thoughts on this match?
I enjoyed this match. I wouldn't call it much of a street fight though, because it was kind of like last night with Jacob and Drew McIntyre. It was very like watered down.
Right.
And tomorrow was just a hardcore match. As far as the Demon character goes, though, Finn doesn't have to wrestle differently because Finn never says the Demon is a different person. He just says the Demon is the darker side of him, so he can do that shit with the chairs and all that, and he won't care. He's never said it's a different person. Blackheart Leo Rush, he claims is a different.
So when you say this is the darker side of me, this is saying you're a different person because they're bringing out the darker side of me.
But they've never portrayed the Demon Finn Balor as being a different person. We're not talking the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. We're not talking Blackheart Leo Rush. That's always been the storyline of the Demon is not another person. So if he's not another person, he doesn't have to wrestle differently.
There has been.
I didn't say it makes sense, but I'm just saying that's always kind of been the backstory of the Demon. It's never been another person. It's not like he's got multiple personalities. He's not Sister Abigail and the Fiend all in one.
Robbie, when someone says...
Anyways, still a good match. I enjoyed the match, but I'm just saying, if you follow the Demon character, that's always been the gist of it. It's never been another person.
Robbie, when someone says, I'm going to bring out my darker side of me, right? This is saying you're bringing out another side of me. So therefore, if it's bringing out a different side of you, it's a different side of you. You should be more violent. Something's different about you. There's nothing different, Robbie.
Right. I agree with you. And this was probably my least favorite match of the whole night. It was good, but it just like moved at a slow pace or something. It just was off a little bit. But yeah, out of the whole night, the whole night, this was the least favorite of the matches. You know, if I had to put them, I would have said this was the bottom match. If you ranked them, 1 through 6, this would have been number 6. But yeah, I agree with you. If you're saying, I'm coming out as the Demon, I know everybody's trying to use logic or whatever, but yeah, you would say that there should be.
Yeah, there's no logic in wrestling.
Logic and wrestling do not go together.
Right.
Where you at with this, George?
I loved every minute of it. Yes, it was probably the least favorite match, but that doesn't mean it was bad. I love seeing the Demon back, but also going back to when he did it against Edge, it just felt right this time. Like it was forced when he fought Edge. It was like, and then of course the other thing, I do agree with Grizzled on this because he just had the interview with Cody Rhodes where he said like they kind of messed it up for WWE because when he painted himself in Japan, he wasn't doing it to be a different person. He was doing it that inner focus, that darker like person is not necessarily a different person. It just locks him. Yeah, it's more of a psychological like war paint type of thing. That's how he built it. So it's like what WWE does is it's like, oh, this is the last straw. I'm going to get the Demon. So you've been brainwashed by WWE to think, oh yeah, he's supposed to be a different person altogether. No, it's them screwing it up, and that's neither here nor there now because he's going to do it if he gets paid to do it. He's going to do it. Regardless of if it's wrestling.
We have George on more often. He understands me.
No.
Which means he's lost.
See, the difference is like I'm the Lex Luthor to KG, so it's like even if we agree, I'm still gonna find something. But I did love the match. course, I always pop when they pull out the Slim Jim tables for everything they do in a street fight or no DQ match or a table match. And then the only thing I agree with everybody on, and maybe I wasn't in the group chat because I was at work. I went 0 dark 30 on the non-sanctioned stuff last night. When you do a fight and you're using all these weapons, shouldn't there be blood? I find myself saying this for the last, I'm 44 now. I've been saying this for about maybe 30 years of watching WWE. When people get in fights, shouldn't there be blood? Well, I'm just wondering where John Moxley can take a headlock and start bleeding.
I think the problem is that they use certain words, like we talked about last night, when they said this was an unsanctioned match because WWE wasn't going to be responsible for the violence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, except it wasn't. It was a soft hardcore match, right? So words matter in professional wrestling.
Yeah. And that's what I look at. Like, I think back to the last WrestleMania that was in New Orleans when they did Stand and Deliver or Takeover, whatever it was. And Johnny Gargano and Ciampa are tearing up everything. And, it's a blackout match or non-sanctioned match to turn the lights off to let you know it's not sanctioned. No blood. They're just tearing the ring up. They're dropping each other on ring planks and stuff like that. And it's just like, I do get tired of that. For the as much of a WWE mark as I am, I wish they would just go that extra mile. Instead of having other people wrestle for belts and they're just busting each other open with no weapons.
Right.
We have people beating the crap out of each other with everything they can get their hands on, and not a single ounce of blood is done on purpose.
Right.
Like everything's like, oh, he scratched him.
I know you're not a big AEW fan, but I'm sorry. When AEW says it's an unsanctioned match, right? They do it better. They do, because they deliver. It's violent, it's bloody, and it's chaos.
I'll agree to disagree with that, but I mean, we both grew up watching old 80s.
You just said it yourself.
No.
George just lost some brownie points with me. Shit.
No. See, they're gonna go try and kill themselves on purpose when they say it's a nonsense. I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna, like, just Drew McIntyre digging in Jacob Fatu's skull yesterday with a damn wrench, and he's not bleeding. That's an easy one. I'm just saying, like, I ain't saying he's gotta fucking like chop his own head off. Like Sky Blue having a bloody face, y'all loved it. I'm like, okay, what's the point? Oh, she was grinding her face on the fence. I could do that right now.
As you just said, they're using weapons.
No. But I'm saying, like, to the point of where she's digging into, like, you get what I'm saying. You're trying to be difficult. You get what I'm saying. Like,
no, I'm
you're
not
trying to
difficult.
like.
I'm using your own words.
Okay, but I'm saying,
like, match and you use weapons.
But they do it. But if ever,
no.
I'm just saying every little thing. It's the small details. I get it, but I'm just saying, like, in AEW, everything causes everything. But I'm just saying, every once in a while for WWE, since they want to be that family show, portray these matches like that, but don't go that far. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't saying they got to be like Dusty Rhodes back in the day, but just the stuff that makes sense to it. Now, if AEW, they're busting each other open at the beginning of a match, it kind of throws everything out.
Well, I was about to go there. Now, what WWE gets right is they know that if I'm going to have color in one match, I shouldn't have it in any other match.
Yeah.
Right? So WWE gets that right. But I'm saying when we're talking about unsanctioned matches,
they're going to go the extra mile. Yeah, I got you.
Type of a thing.
Now, what?
Yep. Guys, next, the women's champion, Jade versus Rhea Ripley. I like this match way more than I thought I was going to. This was the best Jade has looked since I have seen her debut on television. I'm talking about AEW and WWE. Any match, this was her best. She looked good tonight. So did Rhea. This was a great match, in my opinion. I guess Jade was a goddess. That was her entrance as a goddess. She's 2-0. Yeah, 2-0 WrestleMania coming in. Rhea Ripley looked good. She enters all white instead of her black. Even her makeup was different. Very physical match. Jade's spine buster was beautiful that she hit Rhea Ripley with. We had outside interference. Mishin and BFAB. Io Sky came in to even the odds. She hit that moonsault. That reversal Rhea did on Jade's finisher, that was also beautiful. Rhea hit the riptide and won. New champion. Great match. There's look. If I had to nitpick anything at all, because I'm supposed to critique, right? Okay, fine. We could have did without some of the outside interference, I guess, right? But that's something very small. This was a great match, 100%. Robbie?
No, I totally agree. I mean, you basically took everything I was going to say, like you took my cue card or whatever, because I thought the same thing. I thought, wow, this is the best I've ever seen Jade look. She looked good. Rhea looked good. Like if you were going to nitpick, could have done without the outside interference. But as far as like the match, I thought it was a good match, and I really thought, kind of what this was going to eat. I figured this was going to expose Jade, and she actually held her own. She held her own in there. I figured she was going to get exposed, and she actually did good.
And then we say this about the outside interference. Although, okay, fine. It could have been without it, but at least it made sense at the same time, right?
Yeah.
It made sense. It went to the storyline that we've been seeing. George?
This was believe it or not, my match of the night, because I was like, Jade's going to show up tonight. I just had that feeling going into this weekend. I was like, that's going to be the match to steal everybody, whether it be Rhea running the match. But I just watched a lot of it, and they were like literally communicating with each other. I mean, you got good camera angles and bad camera, but you can see them talking to each other. And it's like Jade, like y'all said, Jade delivered like on spot. I have zero problem with the outside interference because that's been the story. She's been hiding behind her two new friends and all of that. So they had to get involved for that case. If it was just a regular match, it would have been fine without it. But we know Io Sky was going to be involved at some point, so they have to have a reason for her to come out there. But
by the way, real quick, George, I don't know if you guys pick up on this real quick. I don't know why, but Rhea on her on the tape, she had Io written on her tape. I just thought that was funny.
Was that the script?
Yeah, I know.
Because Io didn't have Rhea written on her arms anywhere. No, everything was good. I love that match. I mean, we jumped from Finn and Dom to that, and that was a lot better, for lack of better terms. So I mean, I held that match up higher because I wanted to see what Jade was going to do. This is her first big time. Like she had the Tiffany Stratton match, but even that match had botches and stuff like that. This was right on time. Everything was on point, and it came out clean.
Grizzle, before I let you talk about the match, what you thought about it, this is a question I want to ask all of you. It came out today. There was an interview with Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman seems like he wants to manage Jade. He thinks Jade is the it thing. She's it. He wants to manage her now. Unlike Bob Cook, sorry, Bob, I love you, but and I know that what you're a professional wrestler. You've been in business. You're a veteran. You're great. But I disagree with you. I like Paul Heyman. I think Paul Heyman elevates talent that he has been with. But this is the question. When it comes to Jade, though, and Grizzle, we'll start with you. Tell you what you think about this match, and then answer this question. When it comes to Jade Cargill, does Jade Cargill need Paul Heyman with an elevator, or do you think it would maybe hold her back a little bit because of what she's already achieved? Go.
Okay, as far as match goes, I have no issue with the match. Outside interference, it would have been great if they didn't have it, let the two girls go one-on-one, but it made sense for the match, and it was minimal. There wasn't a lot, so I'll let it slide there. I'm going to have to be with Robbie. I'm going to have to do the LaCroix on this one because, we made our comments on Thursday. Jade looked good. Jade did what she had to do. It looked good. She looked solid. I'm going to give her a pass on this one. I thought she was excellent. I think Rhea's better, but this is probably the best I've seen Jade Cargill go. Now, I'm also going to emulate Bob Cook here for a minute. Rhea looked fucking awesome when she came out in that white outfit. God damn. That was the first thought in my mind was, holy shit. Okay. All right. But anyways, back to the match. Great match. No issue with it. I didn't think, honestly, Rhea might win it because Rhea always wins the title at Mania, but they let her do it again, and I have no issue with that. As far as Paul Heyman goes with Cargill, no. I don't think Heyman would be a good fit with Jade Cargill because you look at who Paul Heyman's been with a wise man or manager for. Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, these power guys. I can't see Paul managing a female wrestler. I can't see it. It doesn't. It doesn't fit. I don't think a female is going to fit in the Paul Heyman stable.
Robbie, you've been very critical of Jade's mic skills.
Paul
Heyman would be a good mouthpiece, right? And look, regardless if it was tonight or if it's at SummerSlam, Brock Lesnar is going to be done. And Paul Heyman has an opening for somebody that is the big thing. Can that be Jade?
I mean, I kind of agree with that a little bit, but I think if you did put Paul with her, truthfully, I think she's just brutal on the mic. I mean, her mic skills I don't like, but I have to agree. I had to eat crow. She actually did good, in the ring and everything. But as far as on the mic, Paul would be a big help for her. And, I know Bob doesn't like him. I don't know why, because Bob never wrestled in ECW, so he didn't get stiffed by Paul. So it isn't like Paul owes him money or anything, like many of the guys that I've heard that have worked for Paul. But, I mean, take that away. I mean, the guy's good. He's got a mind for the business. He knows, he's great on the mic. He's good. I think he would be a perfect mouthpiece for Jade.
Yeah. What about you, George, man? Look, would this only do nothing but help Jade? Have that mouthpiece under someone like Heyman? Or again, she's just accomplished too much. She would hold her back now.
I'm going to go on the side of she would be held back if she had a manager. Because, I mean, they had and I guess it's apples to oranges in this case. Because, the other guy, the Sterling guy, was more of a wrestling talent, comedy talent. But, that didn't work out there. She always has an entourage and stuff in AEW. She had Paul Heyman. She can't get better at talking if she has somebody that can do the talking for her. And I think the whole point of her, they need to let her be more organic on the mic as far as trash talking. So obviously you can't curse like you want to or like you used to on AEW. But I don't think Paul Heyman would help her in any way, shape, or form, to be honest with you. I mean, behind the scenes maybe, but I mean she's got decent star power on her own, and it's just one of those things where it's just got to be worked on. That lost start for the performance center to cut promos and stuff. I guess people just work out and do wrestling. They don't do the other stuff. But she could definitely go to classes for that, like Roman did, because his acting classes apparently translate into better promos. Mm-hmm. She could learn from that type of stuff as opposed to getting a manager. And of course, he did have Paul Heyman as a manager, but I mean, look at the bloodline compared to Jade by herself.
Right. Yep.
But see, I'm going to disagree on this though. But look at how long, and nothing against Brock, because Brock, but he had Paul all those years, and all those years he still was not good on the mic for how many years he's been in the business. Having Paul with him and everything, that helped him, having that mouthpiece. And then when they kind of let him go on his own, he was kind of brutal.
I think with Brock Lesnar, part of his problem was his voice. He was like Mike Tyson. Yeah. His voice didn't match his big ass body.
Man, but he still wasn't even good in his promos. It doesn't, even if, no matter your voice or whatever, if you can cut a promo, you can cut a promo,
Right.
Yeah, I kind of agree with KG on that, though. It's like his voice being high pitched. He only sounded good yelling when he was all riled up, and then, regular talking, he had to say something funny or something, smart ass to be effective. Yeah. He probably didn't have the confidence, whether he was always talking backstage or not, he probably didn't have the confidence for a promo. It was just better than Paul.
Brock Lesnar has that dangerous voice because he's the guy that you get into it on the phone not knowing who he is. You're like, bitch, he threatens you, bitch, I'll meet you outside. You walk outside, you're like, excuse me, sir, I'm looking for the guy with a high voice. And then he talks like, holy shit, my man.
Oh, man.
Nice, next
and leave Paul alone for Braun Breaker. Paul's going to make Braun Breaker the star, and Braun needs him.
Yeah. Next was the segment that, I thought to myself, Boy, I bet Grizzled and George are thinking Kevin's probably hating this. But I didn't. And I tell you why I didn't. Because it's WrestleMania. And with WrestleMania, you just expect things. WrestleMania is a show, right? I know it may not make sense to you guys, but it's different to me with WrestleMania. And I didn't mind this. I thought it was funny. But it started with Cena. He announces that night 2 is 55,255 with a total of 106,072 people. We know it's bullshit, inflated, but whatever.
I got something to say about that.
Sure. Then, because I actually heard the real numbers last night was about 49,000. So,
I'm not talking the numbers or the people.
Okay. Miz, then John Cena went to attempted to thank the fans, but then was interrupted by the Miz and Kit Wilson demanding their WrestleMania moment. Danhausen then shows up with a bunch of little Danhausens and a Danhausen mobile. This was one of the parts of the main event between night 1 and night 2 that I think the crowd was loudest, to be honest with you. Crowd reacted. Then Miz running his mouth. And then next thing you know, little Danhausens are attacking Miz, attacking Kid. Kid's like, this is toxic shit. Then Danhausen does the "you can't see me" taunt with John Cena. Then all of a sudden the poof smoke, but then there's still Danhausen, and then you see him running away. What I think is great about that is this. I really like that because they mock themselves about the whole I hate supernatural shit. So they mock themselves, doing that. I thought that was great. And it also brought me back to a moment that wasn't supposed to be a comedy skit, but it was. And of course, about the exploding ring in AEW, my mind always goes back to that shit. The poof with your boy still passing out. I don't know why. Every time I see a puff of smoke, my brain goes to that spot.
Oh,
George, what you got on this, man?
No, why do we both think like that when that explosion and people were shitting on AEW for the point on, and then they do the same thing when Danhausen comes into WWE. Now it's a part of the act. It's like the internet wrestling community just poisoned our brains and think, oh, this is the worst thing that happened, WWE bringing in Danhausen. And he's one of the most over non-wrestling guys they have, and then they even make fun of the intro with that. But no, that whole segment had me going, like rolling pretty hard. And then when John Cena actually broke and started laughing at the end, right, that was perfect. Like that was natural. Like he couldn't even be in character if he was trying to be. Like it was just like that was one of those moments where it's like, this is great. Like they needed that. That was a good moment before.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I think it was on Raw. Maybe no, it was on Smack. Yeah. It was on SmackDown when Danhausen did that whole thing with the title. When R-Truth and Priest defending the titles against Miz and Wilson, and then the whole Danhausen thing. I hated it. I thought it was a mockery. Yeah. I really did. Wasn't a fan of that shit, and I will stand by that. I hate it. Yeah. But WrestleMania is a different stage, right? You have that type of entertainment there. I don't know. It's just it's a different feel for me. And on top of it, this happening, it wasn't during a segment that involved something that we're supposed to take serious, like title belts. Because if they did this exact same thing, but it was during something that a title belt was involved in, I would have shit on it. It would have pissed me off because I do take professional wrestling serious. To a degree. It's something that means a lot to me. I don't like it being made fun of. But again, tonight, my wife who hates professional wrestling was even put her phone down and looked up and was laughing her ass off at it. This is how you get non-wrestling fans to pay attention. I will admit that, Grizzle.
Okay, I gotta say a couple things. One, before we get into Danhausen, I loved it. The whole John Cena thing where he made the announcement and it was the 190th in attendance. Yep. Absolutely not. No, yes, they inflate the numbers, but I'm not talking about that. Say there's 48,000 people that buy tickets on Saturday, okay? And then there's the people on Sunday. 15,000 of those people that bought tickets on Saturday also bought tickets on Sunday. They're not two people, they're just one. So the exact term should be 150 tickets sold, because that's how many tickets they sold.
Right.
That doesn't mean there's 100 and some odd thousand people in the audience, and it pisses me off that they try to use that as an attendance figure of how many people are in the building for the weekend. No, that's how many tickets were sold, because a lot of people buy 2 nights, and I would say at least 10 to 15,000 people were there both nights, if not most of that crowd was there both nights.
I will
people
say
are going
this,
to travel
though.
to Vegas for Mania for one night. They're going to go both.
I will say this,
That's
though. I will say this. I really don't care. It didn't affect the show as far as how many people were there. There's a lot of people out there that talk about. Wait, hold on. There's a lot of people out there that's talking about how the fans sucked on night one. No, they didn't, actually. I thought the fans both nights were great. They were into it. They made a lot of noise. So, yeah, go ahead.
Well, yeah, but the thing is now, especially with TKO involved business-wise, when they promote other shows, try to get other cities to buy shows. Oh, well, we had WrestleMania and we had 110,000 people.
Right.
We could get 110,000 people for you. No, you didn't. You had 85,000 people. It's just a lot of them were there both nights. Right. They use it as a number to get to sell their shit. And it's false advertising. But anyways, we're gonna go off on that. We're not gonna go off on that one anymore.
Hey, I know. I know a place they could have. I'm sorry. I know a place they could have sold out both nights on. The place that they would have had it last week.
Wait, is it New Orleans?
Full. Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be in New Orleans. Yeah.
Last weekend, yeah. Everything that's come to New Orleans in the last few weeks, like big events for 2 nights, is sold out both days. If WrestleMania would have been there, they would have had to inflate the numbers, because people are waiting for stuff to come down there. The Superdome would have been packed 2 nights straight. But
they still would have said it was 100 and some odd thousand people in.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because they got to make their numbers look good. Right. Anyways, as far as the segment goes, though, I had no problem with that. Although we haven't talked about the elephant in the room, and my wife brought this up both times when John Cena comes out. He needs to get credit for the debut of the most amazing hairpiece on the planet, because it is obvious this shit up here is not John Cena's hair.
Well, he had hair
has an amazing hairpiece. No, he had a toupee. You could see a toupee. My wife pointed out first time she saw it. It's on the top here, whatever. It's weaved in. He's got a toupee. That's not John Cena's hair. Anyways, this segment, though, what cracked me up is I'm watching Mania with my son. And John Cena's out there, and wait. And I'm like, okay, here comes Time Killer. Here comes The Miz. I knew where we were going with this.
Right.
But my son got fucking excited because, as he said, Dad, Kit Wilson made WrestleMania. He was thrilled by Kit Wilson. I'm like, okay. My son loves Kit Wilson. So Kit Wilson getting his Mania moment, that made his day.
For that.
I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. Okay, whatever your thing. But no, Danhausen came out in the car, and you're right, the fans popped for it. And you got to give Donovan Danhausen credit, because he's wrestled, but he came up with a gimmick that's really stupid. It's dumb as hell, and I admit to that, but the fans love it. If you see the videos at WWE World, there's a line like halfway through the building of people, and all they do is they walk up for a minute and they get to do this with Danhausen for 5 seconds, and they're standing in line for hours to do that. The man's over. He had to have a Mania moment. And like when I saw it, I was like, oh shit, the guys are gonna be fighting with me and shitting all over this tonight. But hey, surprisingly, you saw its point. I thought it was funny. The little midget punching Kit Wilson in the balls, I was like, okay, that's a great one. And then when he did the "you can't see me," and you see Cena openly laughing, because Danhausen's debut was so fucking horrible and just blew shit. And of course, the fan footage where you see them going under the ring, WWE went, hey, let's make fun of this and make it your shtick. And Danhausen went, you got it. And now he's made it funny to do the boop, and then he runs around and rolls into the ring, or you see him running up the ramp.
By the way,
supernatural.
By the way, you talked about his debut, and I don't know if you guys have seen this or not, because I am very critical of Danhausen. But there's a lot of people shitting on his, on his debut, talking about it's because he sucked. I took up for him. I said, no, that's not why they got booed. Danhausen actually wasn't getting booed. What was getting booed was that it wasn't Jericho, because stupid people
Yeah. He was
put
screwed.
it in their head
Yeah.
that it was going to be Jericho.
Yeah.
Right? So,
But-
he didn't get booed,
Yep.
but you know what?
You know,
He made the best of it, and look at him.
But that fan camera footage that came out the next day, where you see the lights go down and you see them all rolling out of the ring and underneath the ring, it got caught on camera and put out on social media. So that's what WWE now makes fun of with the, and then he runs away because he's making a joke of it. So I loved the segment. I thought it was fun. I love seeing her laughing about it. So for me, it was fun. And hey, you know what? If he never gets to do it again, Danhausen can say he made it to WrestleMania. So you know what? More power to him.
Bob says, Bobby jumping the gun. We haven't talked about Roman Reigns yet. We'll get to that, but I'll get to the point we're talking about, which says the Danhausen shit was embarrassing and the crowd didn't get that excited. Dude, I don't know if you were just that high on caffeine from your Mountain Dew. But
yeah, no, the crowd loved it.
Nuts with that. I respectfully agree. Now, as far as it being embarrassing, look, normally I would agree with you, but to me, it all depends on how they use it. Again, I don't mind when they have Danhausen backstage. That's fine. I don't care. It's when they put him with certain matches, especially if it involves belts. Not a fan of that whatsoever. Robbie, where are you at with this?
I mean, I could have did without it, but I agree with you. It's WrestleMania, so you're gonna do something like that. You either have big surprises with people or whatever. So I mean, it served its purpose, and it had its moments. So
He says, back in my Steve Austin's glass broke and he came down the ramp and the people went crazy. I didn't say that. I said that this was the loudest tonight the fans got for a moment like that. And it was. The fans absolutely loved
comparing
it.
it to Austin.
I mean,
Just saying, big pop.
Big issues with the fans, not me.
I mean, they popped for Stardust outfit when Cody was coming out. It wasn't that loud.
Right. Guys, now we're going to talk about the second best match of the night. Now, when I say second best, I don't mean that the ladder match was better than it. I'm saying, there was two great matches of the night, in my opinion. To me, they're equal for myself. I like what I like. Talking about the main event, World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. Before the match, a full feud recap aired. Roman Reigns featured a woman, I guess you call it, chanting, then the drums and the piano, and then an imagery honoring the Samoan legacy behind it. I don't care if you guys like, well, really, or I don't care if fucking Bob Cook doesn't like what I have to say. I liked what I liked. That moment gave me chills because I have such great memories of all the Samoa wrestlers back in the day, right? So I really loved that they did that. I thought that was great. Then again, the drums, the piano, then his music hit. CM Punk enters. Before he entered, actually, they did a video package of the city with him being on top of the dome. He enters before even the music hits. His music hits, dressed in all white, and he kneels down. You can hear it's clobbering time stuff. Then Card Personality hits. CM Punk, he got a pop, but he got more boos than Roman Reigns did in the beginning. Throughout the match, though, I think the fans were split in half. We seen a Superman punch that CM Punk kicks out of. We seen Punk gets a high knee when Roman Reigns was attempting to do the spear as he was doing the ooh-ah in the corner. That my favorite spot in the match. and I don't know why, it just was when Roman Reigns hung CM Punk upside down on the ropes outside the ring, and he lands quite a few Superman punches, 2 or 3, and just beat his ass. Punk was busted open at that point in the mouth. Then he took the steps, hits him in the head, busted him open. But then we see a GTS that Roman Reigns kicks out of during the pin attempt. Roman Reigns attempts to do a GTS of his own. We see the Anaconda Vice. We see the double clothesline that took them both out because they were both, the match was pretty much back and forth. We hear chants of this is awesome. But then we see the low blow by CM Punk. CM Punk takes the tape off of his wrist or some of it, throws it on the ground at Roman Reigns to distract the ref, and it works. Ref picks it up, turns around to toss out the ring. I want to do a timeout for a moment right here before we talk about the rest of the match. Robbie Idol. That was the moment that CM Punk took advantage with the ref's back turn and did a low blow. Back in the day, that would have been considered a heel turn. 100%. 2 baby faces going at it, crowd split. That one baby face does a nut shot. Back in those days, back, in your heyday, back when I was a kid, that would have been a heel turn. But it wasn't. Why?
Don't know why. Couldn't tell you. But I agree with you. Yeah, that would have been, because Punk did some stuff that was like heelish in that match.
Yeah. George, is it because of the remnants of the Attitude Era, the NWO era, the anti-heel era, where, back in the day, they would have been a heel turn, but not no more. Now it's just babyface doing what they got to do to win. What's going on, man?
Yeah, I was about to say, I've seen heel moments for Cody with the Randy Orton match as well. And Randy Orton's clearly the heel because, they had McAfee with him, so that makes him a heel. Same thing tonight. It's like the babyface champion, even though CM Punk, like you told y'all, said with the promos and stuff, CM Punk's embracing the booze. It's not really a heel turn. It's just taking advantage of the referee and the moment. I'm trying to win at all costs. You ought to understand this. With CM Punk, it's a little more clear than Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is a white meat babyface. It's like he's got to be pushed to the point where CM Punk's like, I'm going to do whatever I have to do to win, like whether you like me or not, because I'm already going to piss you off on the mic. So it's like, if you're cheering me, okay, but if you don't like what I do, then, I'll still do what I need to do regardless. Whereas Roman, he had his signature move was the low blow with the pin. He hasn't been a babyface that long as the Tribal Chief, so he used to do that to get away with it. The referee wasn't looking. He's just thinking, oh, his shoulder's up. So it's certain times the moments happen where it's like, oh, he's cheating, but then it's like, no, he's just taking advantage of a dumb ref.
You and I are the same age, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And, again, back in the day, man, we baby faces, same thing. Why do you think it's different? Is it, kind of a combination with George said, what I said, the NWO days, the Attitude Era, kind of the remnants? Is it because the nut shot's really not that big of a heel move anymore? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I have a question. Do you ever listen to country music, KG? You like country music? You like country?
Occasionally, depends on what it is.
You ever heard of the Judds? They have a song called Grandpa Telling Me About the Good Old Days.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what you're doing. Sorry.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not, because it's a matter of, no, absolutely not. I disagree. Because it's a matter of what's still a heel move's a heel move. And I purposely asked you, wait, hold on. I want to respond to that. I purposely asked you, is it because we've seen the heel shot so much it's not that big of a deal? And I asked that question because I want your response, because we have seen still in today's era that a nut shot has been the thing that has turned a baby face to a fucking heel. But for some reason tonight with CM Punk, that wasn't the case.
It's because of the Attitude Era, DX, the NWO, Stone Cold Steve Austin, they were the fan. People liked him, and they still did cheap shots. It's what fans like. It's evolved to the point. I didn't see anything. He distracted, and then he hit the nut shot. Okay, to me nowadays, the nut shot is common. So many people do that thing. But CM Punk is kind of that rebel type of baby face. We don't have the clean cut white meat baby face like we used to anymore. You don't have the evil dark heel. We don't have the cowboy in the black hat and the hero in the white hat. We don't have that definition anymore. And that's it. The fans are going to like who they're going to like. And if that's what CM Punk does to get to it, he's got his fans. They're going to cheer for it because he did what he had to do. And in this day and age, that's what it is. Nothing is clean cut anymore as far as babyface and heel.
I agree with you, actually. I just thought it was interesting. I want to talk about it because
it's an evolution thing. It's an evolution thing.
Right.
That's why I can watch wrestling. I can watch WrestleMania tonight, and then as soon as we're done with the show, I can go on YouTube and watch a 1950 Chicago Wrestling Club match from the 1957, and I'm going to enjoy it just as much as I did tonight because I see the evolution. I don't live back in. And I'm not saying that's wrong. If that's your thing, that's your thing. But I don't say, oh, wrestling was better then, wrestling's worse now. It's evolved.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I was getting to.
There's some stuff I don't like.
And that's what I was getting to. I just found it interesting. And this is what I was going to bring together why I found it interesting. And I stopped it with that nut shot thing. They used that exact spot, the nut shot thing, for the, ooh, you're a heel thing, although it failed miserably, in my opinion, to turn Randy Orton into a heel, hitting Cody Rhodes in the nuts, right?
Yeah, but we found out this year that kicking Cody in the dick seems to be the thing to do to make yourself a bad guy.
Right.
There's the comedy video I put up. Why they gotta kick me in the dick? Because kicking Cody in the dick is the evil thing to do this year.
Ultimately,
I don't know why, but it is.
Ultimately, the ultimate question was this supposed to turn? Like it was supposed to turn Randy into a heel? Was this supposed to turn CM Punk into a heel?
No. It was just the distraction thing and doing what he had to do to get the win because it's happening. So, and he's done everything he can. So, no, the fans are still going to cheer him regardless.
Yeah. Bob says great match, but it should have been 7 seconds shorter.
17 seconds shorter. Okay.
Back to the match again. We've seen another GTS that Roman kicked out of. We've seen the elbow drop CM Punk did through the announce table. That shocked me a little bit. Look good. Then Punk attempts another Then Punk does a GTS in the ring. Roman Reigns bounced off the ropes. Punk was able to get him back on his shoulders. This is where this was a little silly for me. Not enough for me to talk shit about the match, but it was a little silly. That this final one is when he dropped him because he's so exhausted. All of a sudden, Roman Reigns then hits him with a spear and then another spear, but this is kind of a super spear because he bounced off the ropes one side, the other side, spears him, gets the 1, 2, 3. New champion. George beat me to the punch because I had CM Punk sold it to the bitter end because in the background you see him. That's the spell.
Flop to the ground.
Your thoughts on this match and your thoughts on having Roman Reigns as the title? I know that there's a few people who didn't want to see it because Roman Reigns won't be there enough. Again, my stance is any other sport, the world champion is only there on special occasions. Should be the same way in professional wrestling. Go.
No, I shouldn't. Because one of the oldest rules in professional wrestling is always going to be the 30-day title defense.
What was you saying about Grandpa and Revolution?
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, though, but people still bring that up, though. If he doesn't defend the title, what's the first thing somebody says? Oh, the 30-day title defense.
In 30 days.
If you're going to use it as an argument, then if people are going to use it as an argument and they use it on TV as an argument, then it should be emphasized on television. I was not a fan of Roman Reigns winning the belt. I didn't want him to because I don't want to see another 1,000 days as champion. We're not going to, though. Roman's not going to do that run again because he's ready to retire. That's why I think, put Gunther with him. Let Gunther get the belt back and retire Roman. No problem with that one. But also, I think we've seen everything Roman can do already in that first title reign. He's not going to show up something new. He's not going to turn into this technical specialist like Bret Hart. We've already seen what Roman can do. It's an old act. Yes, we've seen what Punk can do too, but Punk wrestles a lot more than Roman does. People compare Roman to the champs like Bruno and Hogan. Those guys also wrestled, 3 or 4 days a week, every month in the whatever, stuff like that. They wrestled a lot, defend their title a lot more than Roman ever did. Yep. But I'm not going to fault that. As far as the match goes, though, this was my match of the night. And I'm giving it better than the ladder match, which was another great match. But Roman and Punk did by themselves what it took 6 men with ladders to do in their match. Roman and Punk told that story, sold that match one-on-one by themselves. They didn't have ladders. They didn't have 6 people in it. So there's why I'm giving them the edge on match of the night. One-on-one, no outside interference. Everybody was thinking Jey Uso or Jimmy. No outside interference.
I want to mention that if I was comparing main event match on night 1, night 2, and this is no shade thrown at Cody and Randy because I enjoyed it. But in my opinion, night 2's main event was a little bit better.
Yes, Roman and Punk were the better main event of the 2 world title matches. But this, do we have to discuss Roman's best deal in the business? No, I understand the deal. I just don't want to see it again. I'm just saying. I like to see a title get defended. I like to see a title that's defended, and give these guys a chance to be a champion. Now everybody on Raw is going to have a chance to fight for Penta's belt because that's the only one that's going to be available. But no, match wise, it was great. One-on-one, it told the story. I watched it with my son. My son was on the edge of his seat, just flipping out. No, oh my god, I loved it because I love when a match gets that type of reaction, and that's why I love watching matches with my son. He gives the show the reaction that the wrestlers want, and that's fun for me to watch.
Right.
So this match was amazing. And as far as the best spot, you criticized it a little bit. My favorite spot was Punk, GTS, and then collapsed. Because when he did that showed he got nothing left in the tank. He's done the best he can, and Roman took advantage of it. So that was the spot for me right there, because it showed that Punk was, he was spent. He was human. He couldn't do any more. That was it. And I thought that was like a classic piece of storytelling. Was when he collapsed.
Right. Yeah. Go back and watch Roman's entrance. That's the guy you want representing your company. Yeah, I mean, I had no problem with it.
It's not. I'm just saying I don't want a 1,000-day title defense or reign.
Did you guys watch the pre-show at all? There was an interview that Roman did, and he made. And I wish I would have not watched his interview because it kind of gave it away a little bit for me. He made the comment that if he could not beat CM Punk, then it was time for him to be done. And when he said that, I'm like, nah, he's winning tonight. Robbie?
Yeah, I didn't see the pre-show. Good match. I mean, like I said, I thought, the ladder match and this match were the 2 best matches. I kind of disagree with the vet on the where you had 6 people. Yeah, they used ladders and stuff, but they used them well. And the timing. And
they did.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like where you're saying with Punk and Roman, it was just them. But I mean, to have 6 people that could hit spots like they were all time, timing wise, nothing looked off or anything. So that's why it was one of my favorites. That and I give it a little bit more.
Let me clear this up a little bit. To me, the ladder match and the title match were equal. But I like the fact that 1-on-1 versus 6. The matches itself equal, but I like the 1-on-1 match better because it was the storytelling of the 1-on-1 that gives it the edge for me. Match quality, no, they were both like A+. I'm not going to give a different grade to either one. It was just I like the 1-on-1 as over 6.
Yeah. But I mean, and to me, the 6 hitting spots and everything that I thought, because now you got more moving parts. Whereas, but no, I mean, the last match was good. Glad Roman has it. Wouldn't have had a problem even if they put Punk over. I mean, either way, wouldn't have mattered. And Punk would have had his moment at WrestleMania. So, I mean, and I guess they figured, okay, you're main eventing, that's your moment. So,
Now, do you, for yourself, main event night 1, main event night 2?
I'd say main event or night 2, but I mean, I liked a few of the matches that were, both were good. Mm-hmm. But if I had to rate one or the other, I'd say tonight was better than last night. I would take tonight.
Yep. And we'll grade it. George, where you stand at with this?
Easy to say and I know everybody's like, hey, we got 2 matches. Like, I'm gonna stick to my guns here. Jade and Rhea was my match of the night for night 2, but like the main event was gonna be regardless. Like if you were a fan of the show and you just happened to watch the last match, you would have still been a fan of the show. It's not like it wasn't gonna be like the match of the night for anybody. But that was probably one of their best matches. But it's almost a continuation of the triple threat from last year. So I mean, I enjoyed that match. That was better than Cena versus Cody. Tonight was better than last night, and I love the Randy Orton, the way that match went with Cody and Randy Orton. It's just this match was going to deliver what WWE rarely gets to do with stuff we always know. It's like you get the build up to these shows. At least one wrestling match is going to happen. Somebody's going to tell a story. It's going to be a great match. They seem to find their formula of kind of having the guys throw moves at each other that they do. So I mean, they get it. They know what they're doing. And when you put Roman and Punk in there, it shouldn't be a bad match, put it that way. So I was overall invested in the match all the way through. I agree with Grizzle. I like the pass out at the end. Like the only thing that triggered in my mind, sometimes I get those 2 points. When he fell out like that, I was like, I just thought of Roman saying, and you're old. And it's like, there it is right there. He's going to use that.
Right.
Next promo Roman cuts, he's talking about how old CM Punk is because he couldn't even finish the match. So, but I love the trash talking between the two of them, all the way to the end because they're like exhausted and they're still slapping each other until they fall over. It's like, this is a bar fight at some point. It's not being a wrestling match. So I liked it. I was good with it. But night 2 for me, main event was better than night 1.
Yep, I agree. Last night I gave night 1 an A- tonight. Night 2 is a solid A. Grizzle, start with you.
I gave last night an A. I'm giving tonight the same grade. Night 1 had 7 matches, and they were 7 solid matches. Tonight had 6. 1 Sami Zayn and Trick I just couldn't get behind. But the ladder match, the main event, that brought it to that level and made up for that. So I'm giving it an A. And of the 2 nights together, I'm going to say this had the better night because of that ladder match and that main event. It beat, of the 2, I'm giving an A, but I preferred night 2 over night 1.
Yep. By the way, Bob says Punk Roman best match of WrestleMania 42. Robbie, you're great, man.
I'm going to give it a solid A. I think, like I said, the only match that was a good match, but was the Dominic Finn match, was my least favorite. I was trying to think where I was going with that, but my least favorite, and Jade and Rhea, made, exceeded my thoughts of that match and it was a good match. So that one, Jade exceeded what I thought she was going to do. So 5 out of 6 matches, all the matches were good, but I'd say the 5 matches were really good. So give it a solid A.
George.
I give the whole weekend an A because I didn't see any major faults. Like the stuff we all agreed on, the stuff we all disagreed on. I don't think it was enough to make it a bad show. I enjoyed. I watched night 1. I enjoyed it. I watched night 2. And I enjoyed it every second. So I would say an A, like not an A+ because that means the show is perfect. But everything has flaws. So So yeah, I was happy with who won the matches. I was surprised with, the stuff I was hoping to be surprised by. But I'll take it home at, hopefully WrestleMania is good too. In this day and age, it's kind of hard to be with everybody on TV all the time.
Yeah. Yep. Bob Cook says he gives it an A as well. Danhausen, he gives an F. I am looking forward to Raw tomorrow night. If Raw is anything like Raw was last year, the night after WrestleMania, tomorrow night's going to be damn good. Now, something else, unfortunately, that happens right after WrestleMania is when WWE starts handing out pink slips. I haven't heard of.
We'll be talking about that soon.
Yep, we haven't heard of rumblings yet. We'll see. Is there anyone that you guys, all right, wouldn't be surprised if they got cut by WWE?
I can name 3 right now. Tozawa, Otis, and Maxine Dupree. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if they cut Alpha Academy as a whole. There's just nothing to do with them anymore. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Those are the first 3 people that come to my mind. And I hate to say that because I loved Otis when he was Heavy Machinery. I thought that was a great team. When he was doing the single stuff and he was with Mandy Rose, I had no problem with that. But he's dead in the water with Alpha Academy.
Yeah. What about you, Robbie?
I agree with that. I'm trying to, I was thinking anybody else. I mean, could almost see him even maybe cutting Kip Wilson, just because of, his partner being hurt.
They've been using him too much.
Hey, I think Kit gets a save because they paired him with The Miz.
No,
so I think Kit will get a save right now.
But as much as I'm not a fan of Kit or what he's doing, at the same time, a lot of people are. He's over. Kit Wilson is over. And I mean, like or not, I'm talking to myself. I mean, he just is. So yeah, I don't see him.
Well,
I would be shocked.
Okay. And then one other one that I could see, Bob would probably agree with me on this one. Just, I know they're not using her a lot and stuff, is Natty. I could see Natty getting cut.
If she does, it's going to be because of the storyline with Maxine Dupree. I'm just saying.
Yeah. They've packaged Natty so many times that I could see that too. They've packaged her so many times that I don't know.
Yeah. What about you, George?
I think I'm in the same boat with Otis and Tozawa because I mean, there's not so much Maxine, but Otis and Tozawa, I could see them being cut. Maybe Apollo Crews because he is still there, but there's the problem with cutting people now. They're using a lot of people for AAA, and that's the thing. That's it's like whoever is not putting back on NXT or they're just like not sticking on main event. They're using the AAA for something. So it's like somebody's gonna get cut. I know that, but it's just like it's hard to know who else is gonna because they literally like even though they haven't repackaged, they're like throwing people on AAA to go with the luchadors just to have some filler with all the people they don't have. So. I mean, I'd say Otis and Tozawa being top on the list, but there's a few others I can't think of names, right off. But there's some people that are on like Raw and SmackDown that aren't being used that I could see being cut because I mean they got so many kids coming up from Evolve and NXT. Right. They really don't need to keep everybody all the time now.
Yeah. And the last person I'll bring on real quick, Bob says, how did some of the ignorant fans call this the worst WrestleMania ever? Bob, I trust that. I addressed that at the beginning of the podcast, and I agree with you.
He
also said that if Maxine Dupree gets cut, he has a shoulder she could cry on. I'm sure she does, Bob.
Bob answered his own question, though. He said, how can ignorant fans call the worst WrestleMania ever? He answered his own question.
Right.
Fucking ignorant.
Right.
It's right there. It's right there in his question.
Right.
The ignorant wrestling community.
Yeah. The real IWC. Yeah.
The last thing I want to bring up, and it goes according to what we're talking about with the cuts, there's a lot of people who are saying Triple H may be in danger because there's rumblings that TKO is looking at this WrestleMania, right? Because It didn't do as much as it did last year. It did much less. That Triple H is who they're going to blame. People believe that Triple H is going to be someone getting the pink slip. Robbie, where do you fall with that? By the way, I think it would be fucking stupid.
Right. Oh, definitely. I mean, if you're going to put the blame on anybody saying it didn't, I mean, you have to kind of go towards TKO because they set the prices and stuff. I mean, part of the problem why you didn't have what you had was a lot of people pissing and moaning because of the price. He didn't set the price, he's not in charge of that. So, I mean, if you say, okay, it's his fault, and you do, I mean, you can't put the blame on him for not drawing the people. It's mostly the price. He didn't have any control of that.
Yep. You said exactly what I was going to say. It's twofold. One, it's the price, and two, and I know people may think, well, why would it matter to people, who were not from this place? It did. The fact that they cut New Orleans out and the price, the ticket prices, that pissed a lot, even people that's not from Louisiana, from New Orleans, it pissed people off because it really exposed the greed, in some people's eyes for TKO. Another reason it would be stupid to let Triple H go. Can you imagine the move Triple H could make if he did get cut? That would literally change, at least for a minute, the playing field because of the oh my God effect of him making a move to AEW or even TNA.
God damn it.
I'm just saying, people, there would be that shock factor, and that would fucking
right. But like if he goes to, like, say they did cut him and he goes to AEW, who's going with him. Shawn Michaels is going to go. As close as they are, I would imagine Shawn would go. So he's probably going to pull some people, with him and take them to AEW. And now I even have a feeling some of the wrestlers are going to go say, I don't want to be here,
It could be. George, what about you, man?
So just kind of piggybacking on what everybody said, I'll go further back. Just being in the weeds on the news, on just looking this stuff up. We go back to Minnesota got a SummerSlam the first time Vegas got WrestleMania, when everybody was highly speculated that they were going to Minnesota for WrestleMania. Fast forward to this year, New Orleans gets WrestleMania and they pull it. Let's go backwards again and think about Indianapolis. Supposed to get 3 major events, and they got the Royal Rumble and 2 other events. And one of those events was WrestlePalooza, which was a lackluster pay-per-view. Plus the ticket prices at Vegas, plus the ticket prices in general for all of the shows this year and the end of last year. They have a litany of stuff they can blame themselves for, but being corporate America, they're not going to. So who better than the writers for the show instead of the people that are in charge of the tickets and where the events happen? Like, why would we cut Triple H? Despite him being hated on the internet for different reasons, the pop he gets when he comes out. Like, imagine the next guy that takes over for him coming out at the beginning of a pay-per-view and everybody booing him. And then they're going to be like, oh, well, we don't care. He's in the position we want him to be. You know what I'm saying? But you're going to cut Triple H, which would literally cripple all your shows because he's the head of creative. So, while Shawn Michaels is great and he has done an incredible job with NXT, I agree with Robbie. He could go with him or just quit in general and be like, well, if my best friend's not going to be working, I don't need to work. Undertaker runs Triple H. They run stuff with Triple H and creative and Bruce Pritchard and all of them. Like, somebody's going to disappear gradually as Triple H, between wrestlers and people on the board that help him with creative. So, you run that risk of, like we said, ruining the company that you're draining money out of just so you can sell it. It's not going to be valuable when you sell it. You're going to have to give it back to Vince McMahon at that point. And he might be too old to know what he's doing.
Yeah. Bob says, the people who are saying that are ignorant fans. And he also says, he thought that one of the problem was what I said, the return to Las Vegas. And then he said that, people saying these stupid things are the same people are whining about the commercials. That's also not a WWE call either. I even said that last night. I said, if I have one complaint was all the commercials, but I also said my complaint that I have has nothing to do with the matches or WrestleMania, WWE.
Mm-mm.
It was the commercials though. But again, that's not a call. That's out of WWE's hands. That's not a Triple H call, especially. People, these stupid fucks want to just point the finger. Oh, it's Triple H, Triple H. Triple H worked for people. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, guys, we all agreed.
Hey, you passed the bet.
Go ahead, Grizzle.
One, I agree with Bob, and I have said this from the beginning. As soon as, and George said it too, as soon as they pulled Mania from Louisiana and gave it to Vegas, I knew right then, and I said it, it's not going to be as big a show. Because one, that's going to piss people off because they're like, okay, Louisiana got fucked because they paid for it. And they're like, oh, sorry, here's your money back. Screw this. People in Vegas and all that, they saw the money that came in to the hotels and the casinos. And they're like, shit, we want a piece of that again. And then TKO went, fuck, look at all that money that was made in Vegas. Fuck Louisiana, let's go back to Vegas. Guys, you can't do the same thing twice. It's not going to happen the same way both times. They screwed themselves as soon as they said they were going back to Vegas. I said it, and all my friends that I talked to were saying, oh, well, it's business. This is what's best for business. No, it's not what's best for business, and this year proved it. It's not what's best for business. Going back to Vegas because people got greedy and thought they were going to see the same damn thing. That was the problem. As far as Triple H getting cut, Triple H is not going to get cut. And you said, KG, and I'm going to argue this one with you, the shock value if he goes to AEW. There'd be no shock value because as soon as they say, oh, Triple H cut from WWE, the entire internet wrestling community is going to spooge all over their computer screens because they're all going to say, oh, Triple H is going to go to AEW. There's going to be no fucking surprise because every goddamn person in the universe is expecting it.
When I say the shock value, what I mean is not that they're shocked that that's where he's going. The shock value as you never thought you would have someone related to McMahon at AEW type of a thing. That mindset.
Well, yeah, but once again, once they say he's cut, everybody's going to have that thought.
Well, I get that, but it would still be like
the shock value would be if Triple H shows up in
right.
Well, not that, but they say Triple H shows up at Game Changer Wrestling and says, "I'm the new CEO of this." That might be a shock.
Yeah.
AEW, no, the entire wrestling community. They'd be watching it every day, waiting for.
Again, the mindset would be a shock of seeing someone that was WWE, someone that's married to McMahon. They may not be shocked that he's there. It's the shock of seeing him there.
Right.
Especially since he's always talking about the company being a pissant company.
Right.
It's the same thing as when Vince first got eliminated.
Right.
Did you ever think you'd see Vince McMahon not in charge of WWE?
Exactly.
Whoa. But then after like a month, everybody was like, yay, Vince is gone. The shock value was.
Well, that's right. That's what I'm saying. It'd be momentarily, but it would still happen, type of a thing. Bob says that Triple H is a multimillionaire. He puts in well over 30 years of his life into the business. If he got cut, I honestly believe he would retire and enjoy his family and his future grandchildren. Possibly so. I mean, that'd be the smart thing to do. Or as far as smart to enjoy your life and rest and have to be under all that bullshit stress that I imagine he has to deal with on a daily basis. So, I don't know. We will, we'll see what's going to happen in the next coming weeks and months, I guess. Guys, that ends our recap for WrestleMania. Both nights 1 and 2 overall. Is a success. We all loved it. If you didn't like it, you know what? I hate to be you because I think your life probably sucks. That's just me, though. We will be back on a Tuesday to do the recap of the fallout of WrestleMania, both night 1 and 2. Monday Night Raw. See how we feel. Did we like it? Did we love it? Do you just think it was okay? Or there could be there's gonna be surprises. I don't know. Join. Find out. Don't forget, we love reading your comments. You don't have to pay a super chat for us to recognize and make you part of this podcast. Until then, you guys have a great Monday.